Okay, let's hear a bit from Vusi.
Basically, what happened to us is we met through a friend. He used to be a producer himself. So we used to go and watch whatever he's doing. And then we all decided to join hands and probably learn the softwares and everything.
Yeah.
So ever since then, drums have been the key part of our music. So,
yes, it seems like your music is very driven by that drum beat, by very deeply rooted sounds. What do you, each of you, or collectively believe that kind of fed those roots? What was at the basis?
basically, what happens is we all grew up like hearing drums in part of our cultures. So we took that thing and incorporated it into house music, because like everyone has been doing the same thing over the years.
Yes.
So we wanted to do something different, and like in our album, we used different drums from all over the continent to showcase like the heritage, which has been passed from us, from our ancestors and everyone else.
But you know, Vusi, you say that. Now, where did you grow up?
No, basically grew up in Soweto, but then...
Yes, so where did the drums come in? Because in these days, as much as the drums, I agree, are the roots of Africa, it's not so often you're in Soweto and you're hearing the roots.
No, basically what happens to us, Polani usually goes to Swaziland, I go to Natal. So whenever you travel that much, then they've got what you call things, ceremonies.
Yes.
So what happens then, people will play drums, they'll chant. So all those things, they come in between. And then we decide.
And you've been going to those ceremonies since you were very small, very young, and actually been part of them, I imagine.
Yeah, that's why mainly our songs are filled with chants and drums instead of using full vocals.
Yes.
So unless if we're doing remixes for people, then that's when we use the full vocals. But our own little work, usually using chants and more drums.
Yes. Now, and did you want to add to that, Kolani?
The other thing that you asked about, when you ask about the drums in Soweto and all,
yes,
you usually have ceremonies where people cross over to the ancestry side.
Yes.
The sangomas, and you have drums playing there all night, in fact.
Yes.
So sometimes we'll come back from parties with Vusi and come across such an event, and we'll stay and listen there.
Yes.
Get some ideas from there while we're still fresh, and then go straight into studio, and then something comes up.
And have you been exploring the different drum patterns that come even from South Africa, let alone the rest of Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
And I mean, have you found differences, similarities?
Basically what happens is the rhythms are basically almost the same. So even the sounds will differ between the djembe and the conga drum.
Yes.
So what happens is the guy who's playing the actual drum, usually the rhythm is almost the same.
Yes.
So what happens is whenever we've listened to stuff from Angola, stuff from everywhere in Kenya and everything else. So what happens, we discover that the drums, they might sound different, but the rhythm is almost the same. So that's why all our songs, we decide to use various drums, but then sticking to our own rhythms, but you can make it different.
You know, you reminded me of the late great Zim Kawana. Many, many years ago, he told me he was fascinated with exploring. You know, he'd studied all across the world, and he wanted to know what is music, and he went to a lot of professors at university, and one would say it's melody, one would say it's rhythm, and he wasn't satisfied. And then what he believed was we are music, because our breath is our melody and our heart is our drum.
That's
wow.
true.
So it might be many rhythms, one drum.
Yeah.
Yes, you're definitely reminding me of that. But, you know, on that note, do you consider your music, would you say your music is house music, or is it tribal? If I have to categorize. Or is it just groove music?
Some say it's tribal, and we have a sound that have a little bit of soul in them.
Yes.
So it depends on how you listen to the music and how you receive it.
Yes.
That's all.
And I suppose different textures, different moments for different times as well.
Yes.
Now, before we play your mix, let's hear a little bit about your career leading up to signing with Nulu, and how that came about. Obviously, you've been working before. Tell me about that and how it led to this connection.
Basically, how everything started was, as I mentioned earlier on, we had a friend called Sakile. We used to go to his house. He's the guy who actually taught us the software, in fact.
Yes.
So what happened is we caught up with some of our friends. There was a guy called Mpo, aka CDM, and there's a guy called Spamandla. That guy is probably one of the best musicians I've known. and it's got a sister called Calling You. So we formed a group called Songs on Fire. We did a couple of tracks, almost released an album with those guys, but then we never went through with it because some of the guys thought it wasn't good enough. But then the songs are still around. So then we decided to make our own little thing. Me and Paula split up and we made, Alpha and Omega.
Yes. And when was this Alpha and Omega started?
2008, late 2008. So then we made songs, and we used to make songs primarily for us when we were doing our DJ sets. So some of the songs got so much feedback from the parties and everything else. So people kept on saying, maybe we should release the songs, but we were a bit skeptical about releasing.
Because also it's not so easy in this country to find the right people to release through. I mean, even if you own your product.
Yeah.
It's distribution is an issue.
Yes, it's a main issue here.
Yeah.
So basically what happened, how we found Nulu Records was through SoundCloud. We uploaded a song, it's in the mix, it's also in the album, it's called Imperialism. So we did that song, and then that song we put it on SoundCloud, and we gave we wrote it to Angelina via an email. Then he responded within 2 days, I think.
How did you hear about Nulu?
There was a guy called Fabrizio Hotel. He just released with Nulu. I think it was the first album, first EP that came out.
Released with Nulu, yeah.
Yes, because that song was one of the best songs which came out from him, and was one of the major hits in SA. That's how we found Nulu via Google and everything.
Okay, it's amazing how these things cross over the seas and back again, you know? It's,
So then from there, Antonio wrote to us and said he liked the song and everything else. But now, because the song was already out on SoundCloud, we had to change a couple of things from the song.
And it was already big here in SA. Everyone was playing.
Yes.
And they didn't even know by then that it came from us.
Yes.
So we had to take it out of SoundCloud and try and remake it to fit the future and
to give it a more international polish, if you like. Yeah.
And kept it for the album as well.
Yes.
So basically from then on we learned that through music there's a whole lot of things that can be done, especially via the net. So with Nulu and we've met a whole lot of people like guys like Shay.
Yes. Which is amazing again because it's breaking down those borders in Africa.
Yeah.
And I think we're fortunate in South Africa because we have access to good equipment. We have really developed the quality. We've always had the beats. We've always had the groove.
Yeah.
And it's always been an accessible rhythm to the rest of the world. But over the last couple of years, people like you have really polished the sound and given it a quality which makes it even more accessible.
Yeah, thank you. But now I think mainly was whenever you're listening to the international DJs and producers, always trying to match up the standard according to what they're making, and actually to making it sound even better or sounding close to what they're doing.
No, I think it should still be very strongly rooted.
Yes.
But in terms of the production quality.
Yes, I'm talking about the production quality.
Yes.
Because now, what happens is, most probably you can make a song, can be a hit song.
Yes.
Only to find out that the song doesn't sound right on the big sound system. So that song cannot be played.
Exactly.
So
and that was a downfall for many years, I think, in South African music.
Yes.
Because we've always had great grooves, you know.
But the quality was
So
that's why we take so much time for the mixing part.
Yes.
Because we can make the song, but then probably take 2 or 3 days to mix it down. But it sounds good for the big sound system.
Yes, and rather spend that extra time tweaking, just refining, going away, giving it a fresh ear and so forth.
Yeah.
So that you really do. And your sound does. Now, I want to talk more to you when we come out of your mix, but what have you got lined up for us in the mix?
Basically, in the mix, we've got songs which probably would describe us as individuals, and the songs that made us what we are right now.
Do you think it kind of encapsulates your journey as Alpha and Omega?
Yes,
you know, obviously you were doing work before.
Yes.
Yes.
So it does, because it starts from the very first track, which was released about 2009, and then coming back to the very recent track, which is Kumbasa, which is the top-selling track in our album. So taking you through the history of Alpha and Omega and bringing you up to speed from where we began to where we're going, and we don't know, the possibilities are endless from here.
Absolutely, and we're going to talk about that when we come back on the other side of the mix. I want to see where we're going from here, where your sound is going from here, and also what the benefits are of, or the, you know, the pros and cons of being signed with a digital label, if there are any. Alpha and Omega in the studio with me, Nicky B, on the World Show. Of course, yeah, as friends, it's Vusi and Tolani. And right now, we're going to hear a musical sweep, and Alpha and Omega portraits in sound on Kaya FM 95.9.
Friends, Kaya FM.